and it's gonna be a pulled pork tonight. Yes, we've taken a cheap cut of pulled pork. This one's from Morrison's again. I think I'm almost doing a Morrison's series, but this is a boneless British pork shoulder that you can get easily, readily available in the local supermarkets rather than ordering a Boston butt online. But it's practically a Boston butt, but half the price. Let's get this opened up. Might have to remove the rind. It's got the rind on it. I have got my body and a tray to keep things tidy. Put that down in the bin. As you can see, it's stringed up at the moment. So I'm going to pop all them strings off. That's the butcher's twine gone. I'm going to remove that fat cap and that rind. So I'll whip that off and then we'll come to making the rub. Just for ease of taking the rind off, you can get your fingers underneath it and then find the fat. You'll be able to run the knife hopefully along that fat. You do want to keep a little bit of that fat cap on there, especially these British ones, because they've not got masses of intramuscular fat. Right, I'm going to get back to trimming. So we've trimmed off that rind. Don't bin that. Take that fat, render that fat down. You could cut the rind and score it, make some great crackling, drop it in some boiling water first, pop it on the grill. Fantastic little side dish, so don't get rid of that. See, we've gone around the Boston butt, we've left some of the fat cap on there and we've trimmed off any unwanted bits. This is a boneless roll joint, so it hasn't got that bone in there, so it's not going to retain some of that moisture. So we are going to dry brine this. We're going to make the rub and we're going to sit it in the fridge overnight and let it soak in, pulling all that moisture into the meat. So let's get to making the rub. Simple rub, nice and porky this one. So we're going to save one of our old shaker bottles. I'm going to start with the main ingredients and we're going to go in tablespoons for this one. So we've got 3 tablespoons of a nice coarse ground salt. Please don't use table salt. We've got 3 tablespoons of paprika. I will try and get most of it in the jar. Got 3 tablespoons of soft brown sugar. Well, hold on. That's 2.5 probably tablespoons of soft brown sugar for us tonight. Most of it is now on the board. I will wipe it down in a minute. 2 tablespoons of coarse ground black pepper. And then in this one we've got 1 tablespoon of onion granules and 1 tablespoon of garlic granules. Nice orange colour. We've got 1 tablespoon of turmeric. And then the last little ingredient, 1 tablespoon of celery seeds. And there's only one thing left to do. Get that lid on and have the shake dance. So you can see it's a real nice red barbecue colour, and that's from the paprika, the sugar, that turmeric. Now I have put it in a stainless steel pan just to make this easier for myself, and we're opening it up on the whole side. I'm going to start with the underside first, so I'm going to flip it. I'm going to get a nice liberal coating of this salt, sugar and paprika on this Boston butt. Don't forget, give your butt a good pat. let's flip it over. Notice I've not used a smear because it's come out of the fridge tonight and we're going to leave it in the fridge. I'm just going to let that tack up on the meat itself. We can also go for one last touch up before getting it in the barbecue in the morning. And then let's start just with that fat cap side. Make sure we get that front side. Let's see, my hand's in the way, sorry. Right, nicely rubbed up. I'm going to get some cling film or saran wrap and I'm going to wrap that up now, pop it in the refrigerator or ice box overnight, and then we're going to get up nice and early and do the cook. So tonight we're going to get our Kamado Kettle Joe ready. We're going to pop the wood chunks in the bottom as I always do. Check out one of my other videos. Charcoal on the top and a couple of tumbleweeds. That'll be ready to go bright and early to see you guys in the morning. Let me go tuck this up for the night and I'm off to bed. Morning. Time to get the barbecue fired up. We've got them coals down in the bottom. May come around, wave as I go past. Open up your vents. Open up that lid. And we're going to let them coals start catching. While they're catching, let's unwrap the pork. It's been sat in that fridge overnight. It feels nice and firm. So I think that dry brine has done its job. So let's unwrap it. We're going to take off the cling film. Try not to make too much mess of that back. But you can see that barbecue rub is really soaked in to the meat, and like I say, you can actually feel the difference in the meat. It is really nice and firm. Now this is the time, if you do want to go back over the top to touch up any spots, you can do, but I'm going to wait till we get it on the grill. While they're hanging out on the board, we are going to be spritzing this, so we may as well make our quick porky spritz. So we're going to have our Big Les barbecue mug, 1 cup of water. We're going to hit that with, it sounds like a cocktail, 1 cup of apple juice. And half a cup of apple cider vinegar. This is the raw apple cider vinegar. Beautiful flavours to come through. And that, folks, is going to be our spritz, which we'll pop in our bottle. And after a couple of hours of smoking, we'll start to spritz it, controlling that moisture in the pit to set up that bark. Just a quick one, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget there's that like button, there's a subscribe button, and leave a comment. Trust me, it helps and it'll help my channel grow, and I'll bring out some great content for you guys. And also check out Big Les Barbecue on Instagram, because not all my cooks get made into videos. Throughout the week we do cooks. So if you check out Big Les Barbecue on Instagram, great content on there for you to view, guys. So once the flames have died down, guys, and we've got some nice white embers forming, we can pop in our heat deflector plate, the bit that makes this barbecue so special. We can take our pizza pan that I have wrapped in tin foil, and that's going to act as a dripping tray, and that's going to catch any of them greases to stop them dropping down into the barbecue. And then we'll pop on our grill grates. We'll take that pork butt. I'm going to place it nicely in the centre, try and get it nicely positioned, looking rather beautiful. And like I said, this is a time that if there's any spots that you just want to go back over quickly, just to make sure that bark's going to form nicely. So where my fingers have been, I'm just going to give it a little dusting of that beautiful porky rub. I'm going to hold some back for later for serving. And the last thing to do is take our meter probe and let's insert into the fatty part of the meat, just up to that line, and then we'll set our app up. Let's shut up the lid. I'm going to take the bottom vent and I'm going to shut that down to just over a finger's width. I'm going to take the top vent, I'm going to take that up to the first notch. Now that should bring the barbecue up to about 120 degrees Celsius for us to smoke that beautiful Boston butt. Always make sure you keep things tidied down, guys. We've got it rolling in that smoke. We're going to take our meter app and we're going to set it to notify us when the meat gets to 70 degrees Celsius internal temp, and that's the point we're going to wrap it. Hopefully that's going to take maybe 4 to 5 hours, but in a couple of hours I'm going to bring you back and we're going to start spritzing it, and we're going to start to try and form that beautiful bark on the outside. Like I said, this was a cheap cut of pork shoulder, and we're going to make it the tastiest pulled pork you've ever had. It's rocking nicely at 120 degrees. It's been just over 2 hours. And check out that beautiful back. Look at that mahogany colour that's just capturing it. I'm going to take that spritz that we made earlier and we're just going to hit any of them dark spots, make sure that that surface don't dry out, and that's hopefully going to get bark form really nice. Sorry guys, I just got hit with that aroma of apple, cider, pork. It's absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm going to keep hitting this every half an hour to an hour, depending on what the bark looks like, and I'll see you when this gets up to temp and ready to wrap. Right, we've been in the smoker for 9 hours now. It hit the stall and it's taken quite a few hours to get through the stall. We're just running an internal temp of 68 degrees, but I think you'll agree that that bark is pretty beautiful. I'll bring you in for a look. You can see, absolutely stunning. I've got that real rich mahogany colour from the smoke, and that fat cap is now set. So we're going to take that and we're going to do the Texas crutch. We're going to wrap it in a tin foil. So I'll pop this on the side. I am going to rake the coals. It's been 9 hours and I want to just check the basket. I think it's ready for a bit of a top up because the temperatures are just starting to drop off. So I'm going to rake my coals. We'll get this wrapped up and pop her back in. That was fairly full charcoal basket. There's still a good few coals in the bottom. Could probably see off for another couple of hours if you open up the vents. But I am just going to top it up before wrapping the pork. Right, we're going to roll out our tin foil. This is extra thick tin foil. We'll take our Boston butt. Just going to pop out the meter probe for 1 minute. I am just going to hit it with a last bit of that spritz just to get some moisture in there, and then we're going to get this wrapped up. Back to the top. A nice porky parcel, and then I'm going to pop that meter probe back in the meat, and we're going to set the temp for 98 degrees. So I'll get that slow roller back on the BBQ, and we'll see you when she comes up to temp. And we are done at long last. I'm going to open up our Kamado. I'm going to take a trusty tea towel. I've got the gloves on as well. Oh, I'm going to transfer into that pan, and you can either take it into a cooler, drop it into a cooler, and leave it to rest for a couple of hours. But we're eating this tonight, so we're just going to cover it with a tea towel, and I'm going to give it half an hour just on the side for them juices to redistribute into the meat. I'll see you guys when it's time to get pulling. Right, we're going to open this parcel up and let some of that steam out and see how juicy this is. There's no polite way of doing this. Just tear the bad boy open. Capture all them juices. Trusty tea towel as always. And I think you'll agree that looks stunning. There's a piece there that oh, that is beautiful. It's got a little wiggle, it's got a little jiggle. Let's just pull some pieces off. Look at that smoke ring, plenty of smoke penetration. Really, really nice. That is super juicy. It's still steaming red hot. I'm going to try and pull it in a minute. Nice little close up for you guys. Really, really beautiful. Let's break it open. Oh, still, how ridiculously hot. We can see, really juicy, great smoke flavour, but there's no two ways, no polite way of doing this. I should have had my claws out really. Haha. I can't do it. I'm going to have to get my claws. Oh look. It looks like a strip of the money muscle. Hold on. That is delish. I think I'm going to wrap this video up tonight, guys. There's only one last thing I'll do for this, is hit this back with some more of that BBQ rub as I'm shredding it. It's going to make it super juicy and tender all the way through. But for a cheap Boston butt, this is stunning. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, and if not, check out that video over there. We'll see you in the next cut, guys.